Hey folks, welcome back to the podcast, Evil Dungeon Master Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Vince. Hopefully you're having a great Monday. And we're getting closer to the holiday here at the end of the month. I was on RPG Pundit's YouTube channel last night, episode 4, the RPG Pundit Encounter. Had a great conversation with Pundi. We spoke for about 2 hours, answered a bunch of really good questions from him and the audience for that matter. And a lot of good positive comments, a lot of good feedback, and had a good time talking with him. Always a good guy, and if you want to go check it out, head over to RPG Pundit on YouTube, and you can check him out there and check out all his videos, which I'm sure you probably already know of him. If you don't, then you're in for a surprise. He has some good commentary on the gaming, the state of gaming. He was also someone that helped write 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. So check him out. He's a good guy. Anyway, observations after that YouTube video have made me decide to maybe cut back a little bit on all the stuff that I'm doing as far as releasing. I'm releasing sometimes 2 things a day on my YouTube and audio channels. So it's maybe overwhelming some people. So I've decided maybe to take a step back a little bit to see how things change as far as numbers go and how people react. So podcasting is going to be 3 times a week as opposed to 5 days a week. Sometimes I struggle to pick a topic for the podcast, so it might be better that way as well. And having less things overwhelming people would be better. Give them a chance to catch up on things and decide what they want to watch as opposed to being overwhelmed by so many different things here on the channels. Anyway, with that said, theevildm.com is my website, which I will make up for with trying to do some write-ups. I've been putting some write-ups up there as far as like new swords, new magical items, new monsters, things like that for AD&D for people to enjoy. Anyway, today's topic's talking a little bit about clerics today. I went to Dragon Magazine number 92, and there was an interesting article that I completely forgot about that Gary Gygax wrote. And the sum of the article basically is, are the words graven in stone for clerics and druids and their spell list? And he answers it yes and no. So the rules state that the entire array is at the beck and call of the cleric or druid player. In order to make it abundantly clear to all these character types, do not need to have spell books which contain known spells. Clerics and druids are granted their spells for pursuit of their calling and by the deity or its servants to whom they adhere. With fundamentals taken care of, we can now get down to the no part of the yes and no answer. The query, are the rules graven on stone or in stone? No, it's not, actually. And he freely admits in this article that he purposely left out any and all liberties within the rules which are in Greyhawk, pretty much, in his world, where you can have some leeway or the GM can decide it differently. He even goes on to say, he talks about his Greyhawk campaign, and you will notice that some of the deities will give their followers certain abilities. Now, he purposely left this out of the rules so that the DM could pick whatever they wanted as far as deities go, and kind of pick and choose how they want to handle it. Now, there are a couple things here that he goes over later on in the article. There are ways to justify withholding spells and powers and assigning different ones. He even goes on to talking about Ilona, the goddess Ilona, and what she would do for her faithful and what type of spells she would grant as opposed to what you would normally give. Now, one of the examples is a few examples of deity that likes a deity of the sun that dislikes spells that cause darkness. He would not grant his followers anything that caused darkness. A deity of cold dislikes spells that were related to flame and heat, as vice versa. A druidic cult that shuns insects. An order of cleric that requires new members to prove their merit before being further initiated into the mysteries of that faith. These are some points that he brings up when you're deciding what you want to do. And when he goes on to speaking about Ilona, and here descendants of the transgressors reside shepherding the neighborhood farms and folks, human and demi, blah, blah, blah. However, all those trained here are not permitted the following spells, because of the way she is. Of any sort. Wounds would cause wounds, curse, protection from any good, petrify food and drink, cause blindness, cause disease, bestow curse, poison, and it goes on for the whole list. And it gives you reasons to actually like kind of flavor your deity and give them special abilities and take away certain spells and add spells that you would use. He goes on and talks a little bit about how you can mix and match some of the druidic abilities and spells with clerics, mixing and matching and making your own, so to speak, mash of spells. I don't know how you want to say it, but I think it's a great idea, honestly. It takes the whole boring list of, yeah, clerics get this, enjoy, to, well, you have a god called Tony. And Tony decides, yeah, it's a really bad name, I know. And Tony is the god of pasta. And he doesn't like spells that dry out pasta. So you will not get heat spells, and you will not get this spell, but you get this spell. And it does talk a little bit about that. But the one thing I did notice in here is it doesn't really talk about clerics using edged weapons, which has always been an argument to some people that they can, depending on their deity. Yeah, in second edition, they did kind of change that a lot. First edition did not, as far as I know. I think that some of them were allowed to use whips and things like that, but it really depends. I think Forgotten Realms had some deities in it that were allowed to use some different types of weapons, but generally, clerics aren't supposed to use anything but blunted weapons, which it does seem kind of silly thinking about it. If they're going to bash someone to death, what's the difference if they don't, if they use a sword or not? They're still doing the same thing. I know ceremonial wise, they should be only using edged weapons for ceremonies, but it's the same thing in my mind. But check out this article in Dragon Magazine number 92. It's right on the first couple of pages, page 6, in fact, where you could check it out. I'll see if I can include this page in my notes on the evildm.com website when I send out notifications to everybody that signs up, because lots of people have signed up. Thank you, though, folks. And you can get this notification, check it out, and read it yourself, or just go to anaarchive.com and see all the Dragon magazines online for free, pretty much, and enjoy it that way. So anyway, again, the changes are going to be a little less podcasting, a little less video releasing as far as YouTube and podcasting goes, hopefully to get people to watch the videos that are on the main page and stuff like that. Ask the DM at theevildm.com is my website, and you can support me by going buymeacoffee.com/theevildm, or you could join my membership on youtube.com by clicking join for 99 cents a month. You get all videos ahead of time that I put up. Podcasting things don't count because they're through RSS feeds. But all the new videos you get to see ahead of time. Plus, Friday nights, not during the holidays, is when we do our membership game. Jeff and I are playing classic Dungeons and Dragons. We have a campaign going on with a Mythic GM emulator, and the players get to jump in. The viewers or the members get to jump in and throw random shit into the game and tell us how they want us to proceed when it comes to a certain situation. It's a lot of fun so far. We're experimenting with it, but people are seeming to have fun by screwing with us. It's a blast. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, God bless, and keep those AD&D fires lit. Good night.